back. We are back. We are back. And we are back. This time we're just gonna talk to the camera. I think this time let's do this. Let's talk regular, the how, whatever feels natural. Because last time we had a conversation like this, but then I also feel like we left them out. So this time we'll make some eye contact with you guys a little bit, and you know, have fun. So thank you guys so much for coming back to the Relatable Attainable. We just had a fun photo shoot. I just had a cigar. It's not even noon yet, and she had an amazing photo shoot. So now we're here filming for you guys. So let's go ahead and get into this. We've been having a lot of fun doing this. Thank you guys for subscribing. Thank you for liking. For whoever's commenting, thank you so much. And if you guys want to be part of this and submit your questions about relationships, about love, about anything related to needing answers, here's an email. Submit now. Make it funny. Make it fun. Make it count. Let's go and begin this thing. She's sick too, so.
Oh yeah, you guys, I'm so sick. And last week, our son was sick all week, like really bad sick. And we had to take him to the hospital. And we really couldn't do anything. We couldn't work. I mean, we really had to put everything into making sure that he was okay. And now this week, I think I might have whatever he had.
Yeah.
And I feel awful, but you know, the show must go on. So, you know.
Should wear a mask.
Huh?
Should wear a mask.
I already spit in your mouth earlier. Okay. I love the idea of love. How do I not attract the wrong kind of energy?
I love the idea of love. How do I not attract the wrong kind of energy? You'll get the energy you put out. So don't be afraid of trying to, I guess, judge an energy by what you think it may be. Because at the end of the day, you never know what true energy is until you give it time. So, I mean, worry less and focus more on you being a good person. But no, yeah, guys, I think, or girl, this, I think just try to, you know, focus on you being a good person. Don't worry about the outcomes of other people's decision making or expectations. Like, you know, carry your expectations on your own shoulders, carry your own energy, stay high frequency, and at the end of the day, you are the company you keep. So if you're truly feeling like you're in the best place in your life, then people in the best place of their life will attract to you, like today.
I had a feeling, you guys, like I woke up and I was like, okay, well, first of all, I didn't wake up. Our son woke up at 4 a.m. 4 a.m. Okay?
4 a.m.
And I normally have to wake up at 5 a.m. anyway on our content days because I have to get ready and we have to be able to like get out of the house and, you know, go drop him off before like the sun is too high in the sky and like it just kind of, it's the whole thing. But still 4 a.m. was like too early and I'm not feeling well, but we, you know, like I said, the show must go on. And I was just like, I was getting ready and I was like, oh my God, I can't do this. Like I can't do it today. And then something in me was like, no, you just have to push through it. You're gonna be fine. Get your work out of the way. You have to go. And then ended up running into somebody, which is cool. So I was like, oh, maybe that's why I felt like I had to keep going. But anyway, how you do not attract the wrong kind of energy is just by not putting that energy out. The wrong kind of energy is gonna either be like an insecure energy or a narcissistic energy or things like that. And narcissistic people prey on people that are insecure and have certain traumas. So the best way of not attracting that is to work on those things for yourself, I think. Because when you do that, I don't think you're putting out that type of like frequency anymore where like people are going to be, the wrong people will be attracted to you. And
have your boundaries, have boundaries and listen to them. Like, you know, don't wait too long to like make the decision that you have to move forward and without the person, whether it's a friend or not, or whatever. So just be like, I don't want this in my life, and that's it, move on.
Yeah. Okay, so seriously, why do we have so many people that follow us that are in some kind of entanglement or try.
A lot of
Try
people
out.
are.
It's crazy. I feel like every week, you guys, we get this question.
That's
A
it.
boy who has 2 girlfriends at the same time, what are your thoughts? I'm actually one of the girlfriends.
Good job. You're stringing them along. Listen, I think.
This is so common. I did not realize how
Yeah.
common this was.
Yeah, I think
Where
so.
people are having relationships and multiple relationships, and I'm assuming in all of these situations the other people don't know because nobody's saying that it's an open relationship. And obviously what would be the problem if everybody knew and everybody was on board? They wouldn't be writing in, right? So I'm just so shocked that so many people accept this. Like,
It's not bad. It's not good or bad though. Like
it is bad because ultimately it's deceitful towards somebody. Somebody is deceiving somebody else, and the other person is knowingly going along with that. It's not a good thing. I mean, it's not to say that you're a bad person or anything like
that's what I'm
that.
saying.
Like, it's not. I don't want to be like coming at it in a
Shaming
judgment.
people,
Yeah, no shame, no shame in your game. But I just don't know what is that doing for you, and why are there so many people that have this situation going on? Like, how are you meeting somebody? How are you getting into a relationship with somebody who's in a relationship with somebody else?
That's crazy. Yeah, that's hard. That's a hard act to follow.
You guys gotta give me some follow up on this.
Yeah, maybe you guys could get a little more context because, like, obviously, that entanglement is like, okay, like, do they know the other person know? Is it like, is a guy like trying to like taper off of his other relationship to go with you, or are you fine with that, or does it turn you on? So it's
It asks what our thoughts are. Honestly, my thought is that don't do this. You know, like, don't do it, because if the person really cares about you,
yeah,
they wouldn't be putting you in that position. You know, like they're gonna handle what they need to handle. So my thought is don't accept unless this is like something that you're
That you
wanting.
like, yeah.
You know, if you like it, but I'm assuming you don't because you're writing in. But who knows? But my thoughts would be that I would not do this. Because I just don't want to be part of something that could potentially hurt somebody.
Yeah,
You know?
and for me, I just think my thing would be just know what know what your expectations are, and don't try to like create a fantasy that this could go one way, because at the end of the day, you could be hurt or the other girl could be hurt. So don't expect much out of it. I feel like if you're just trying to have fun with this person and whatever, but just don't create a false reality with this situation, because you could be hurt as much as the other girl's gonna be hurt. So if you're into it, go for it. I guess. I don't know.
Okay, so next question. I think we've covered that. You guys, the people that have written in, please just send me a follow-up message and say here's more context.
Yeah, please.
I'm just curious at this point, like how are these things happening? I'm staying with somebody, it's a 6-year relationship because they supported me through a hard time, but I want to fall in love. So it sounds like you're not in love with the person anymore.
Oh,
but they supported them through a really rough time, and it's been a long relationship, or a somewhat long relationship. So essentially, I guess, like, what do you do? Like, I'm not really in love with the person, but they also were really good to me.
I feel like you could tell them that. I mean, I don't think every relationship end of relationship has to be like the most dramatic. I don't think it has to I'm gonna break up with this person. It's gonna be like a treacherous breakup, right? It's not gonna be like, it doesn't have to be that way. So I feel like if you're honest and you tell this person like, hey, listen, like, I don't know where you're at in terms of deciding like how far out you are of this relationship. Like if you're like, there's no, like I'm not in love with this person, which is why I want to go somewhere else. But you could always explain to them the situation and, thank them for what they did for you. I don't think the person, if it's a good person, did it to like keep you around, to like hold it, get over your head if you decide this.
So I think honestly, it's just a situation where I guess I have 2 questions. One, is like you're not in love with the person, or is it just not like a crazy dramatic relationship? Do you know what I'm saying? I feel like sometimes people get this idea of like what being in love is supposed to be, and it's like usually a lot of like intense stuff or something.
Yeah.
Like I wonder, so do you just not have feelings for them at all anymore, or what? Because if you're wanting, like if you're chasing that new relationship energy,
it's only gonna last.
Then that's only gonna last for, with any relationship, that's only gonna last for so long. And so I guess you have to decide what you want in a relationship. Do you even want to be in long-term relationships or not? Because I wonder that sometimes is like, sometimes even with people who like write in because they see like our posts and stuff, I feel like sometimes people get the wrong idea of what being in love is. Do you know what I mean? Like they're mistaking it for lust or like drama or something. And it's, to me, the best love is not like that at all. Like it's like it's intense in the sense of like you feel deeply for the person, but it's not dramatic. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like I feel like a lot of people chase that, the drama, and not just like drama in a bad way, but like, oh my god, I'm so intensely like passionate about this person. And yeah, like I think everybody feels that way in the beginnings of relationships, and then over time it's like that passion turns into like something deeper, like a deeper love, like a deeper thing, but it's not as like
intense.
It's not as intense
all the time.
It's not as intense in the sense of like that crazy like adrenaline rush that you get when you first are with somebody, you know? Like you don't have those crazy like, I don't know. Anyway, so, but if it's just like, hey, I actually don't think this is my person, like we don't connect very well, they just happen to be there when I was going through something hard, then yeah, like maybe it's time to just be honest. Don't feel guilty for taking care of yourself. You know, you can't be indebted, like whoever does something for somebody that's good, it shouldn't be because they expect something back from you. It should just be because that's what they wanted to do. They care about you, they love you, and that shouldn't mean that now you're like indebted to them in a certain way. Do you know what I'm saying?
And you never know, like maybe like having a serious conversation, or like if you're afraid to, like I feel like that opens up new levels to a relationship as well. Like I feel like sometimes the hardest conversations are the ones that like they're always the ones that kind of like bring you closer to the other person, you know, because you guys are like thinking about situations or whatever, and then you kind of just realize like, no, this is not what I like. What I'm thinking is not what I want, you know. So I feel like the conversations, sometimes like deep conversations like that, or scary conversations, could really bring a couple together. Sometimes you don't want to talk about it because it's scary, but those are the ones that you need to have. What's one of my best qualities? My suits. And I also dropped the collection of proper cloth. Check it out.
What do you think is one of my best qualities?
One of your best qualities is...
Let's see how long it takes.
No, one of your best qualities is your ability to be caring for other people. You're really kind.
Aww.
You're really soft in that way, where you do take other people's feelings in consideration. And I feel like that's a really good attribute, because it's like almost like a vulnerability thing, you know, because a lot of people don't do that.
Aww.
Damn, I'm sick now. Shit.
I know. I told you I spit in his mouth earlier. What's one of your best qualities? I think one of your best qualities, aside from your impeccable fashion taste and style, I actually feel like one of your best qualities...
See how long she takes, guys? I feel like...
No, I mean, it's like, it sounds like I'm copying you, but it is actually the same thing with you.
I'm cold.
You're not. Not to people you love.
Oh, yeah.
You're not to people, and you're actually not to people you don't love.
No,
like, he's actually super warm towards everybody, and
Everyone.
anybody who's ever met him would say so. Like, I don't think anybody would meet you and be like, ooh, that guy is a dick.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, they might think that your humor is offensive or something. That's another one.
My
of his
humor
bad-
doesn't come out until I know you. That's why too.
Yeah, that's true. But I would say that's another one of your good qualities is your sense of humor. Like, you're so funny.
Thank you.
And fun. He's fun. He's a good time. Have you ever faked an orgasm?
I think so. I think I did once.
I think you told me before that you did.
I think I might have done it once.
Like just to like get it over with, or what? Like what?
Yeah,
What's the reason?
I think. I think so. I think it was just kind of like, this is not like fun anymore.
Dang.
Okay. You?
Yeah. I feel like hasn't every woman faked at least once? But until you get to the point where you're like, I'm no longer gonna do this. They gotta either please me or this is just done. Like.
Damn.
Everyone, especially being young, I think as like a young person, like new to your sex life, and you haven't maybe quite figured it out yet, I feel like every woman does at least once in their life.
I think so. Yeah, it's probably more common in women.
It's definitely more common in women, I think. I mean, comment below. I've never done. I've actually, truthfully, never faked one with you.
Yeah, but that's what every girl's gonna say, right?
No, but I'm being honest. I've truthfully never done that with him.
Yeah, truthfully, that's.
I know. I'm serious. I really haven't. I've never had to. What do you define as love?
What do I define as love? That's a very interesting question. And I think as you age, the definition changes a little bit more. It either adds to what your thoughts or beliefs were in terms of what love was, or it takes away. But yeah, right? I don't know. I feel like I think love to me is the ability to be vulnerable and to be able to make changes into who you are for the other person. Right? I feel like because you have to because a lot of times the hardest thing to do as a human is to change.
Yeah.
Like even if it's like little personal things, but I feel like I think that's what love is, and that's in all forms, like your friendship, and if you love your mom, if you love your brother, I think it's all like compromising who you are to a certain extent to like make room for someone else's needs.
Not who you are, but maybe sometimes understanding that you have to to compromise.
Yeah.
I think to me love is caring for somebody's well-being and happiness regardless of if it does something for you or not. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I'm saying? Like regardless if this gives me something back, I still deeply care about your well-being.
Yeah.
It's unconditional, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you could okay, have you ever felt a love deeper than the love that we have for our son? No, it's like the deepest, the deepest, most unconditional love. And I'm like, oh, like I thought I understood love because I feel very similar or very close to about my family, about you, but it's like a whole nother level of like really understanding what unconditional means. Like he could do nothing that would make me not love him.
How to trick someone to love you? Easy, my friend.
It's a lot of the same stuff. It's like, what do we do to keep the spark going, the fire in our relationship? This question kind of annoys me because it's like, what the fuck do you mean by that? Like, it's never gonna be exactly like it was like in the beginning of our relationship or something like that. It will never be like that. It's similar in ways. There are times where you feel really like passionate, but it's such an evolving thing that like, I guess the only thing I can say is like, how do we keep deciding that we want to continue to be in a relationship with each
Yeah.
other? Maybe that's a better question, because the way people ask, like, how do you keep the fire burning? It's like, what do you even mean by that?
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean by that? Do you mean how do we stay attracted to each other?
Because there's always a fire.
Or, like,
The fire.
there's always
like,
a fire.
It's not like
If
it's
the
on.
fire ever went out, like that's when you know you gotta go. Like that shouldn't ever go out. The fire shouldn't ever go out. But is your relationship always gonna feel the same? No. I feel like there's definitely ebbs and flows to a relationship, and I guess I feel like the better question is like, how do you know you want to continue to be with somebody? And like, how do you continue to do things to make sure that both parties want that?
Yeah.
Right? And I feel like, what do you think?
That's what I'm saying. Like the whole, communication, and you have to reach new levels and in the relationship by being honest with yourself and being honest with the other person. I feel like the hardest thing is to consistently be open and allowing like to separate yourself from your ego and solely what you want, but allowing, like that's what I'm saying, compromise, like what the other person needs. So I feel like it's like anything though, like a job, right? Like if you want to grow in a job, you have to fucking consistently do work. You have to show up. You have to do everything that it entails to get a promotion. Like, I feel like that's how you keep it burning, man. Like, it's just.
I think one is like you have to genuinely like the person that you're with.
Yeah.
Like you have to like them. Because if you don't like them, even if you love them, I feel like it becomes difficult.
Yeah.
So unless that person's dramatically changing, I don't know how you just stop liking somebody. Do you know what I mean? Like when you first get with somebody, unless they like super act different and like they change up on, like I said, unless they're dramatically changing their character or who they are, I think ultimately you always can think back when you're going through a hard patch or something, you can always think back to like, what is it that I love about this person?
Yeah.
Because it's so easy to like, when you're mad at somebody or like you go through something difficult together, it's so easy to forget like that stuff in the moment. And you have to kind of remind yourself, I think, of like the stuff that you like about them, the stuff you love about them, because people are not one thing, and they're gonna have good qualities and they're gonna have bad qualities. And to expect someone to never upset you or to never change or to never.
That's boring. Like, I mean, there's couples that do that too, and I feel like those couples that never really change are the ones that like are a little bit more miserable. And you see that a lot. Like, sometimes parents do that. I feel like just parents in general, like there's different generations where like I just have to put up. I'm not gonna say nothing. I'm just going to continue because I love this person and that's all I know. So I feel like.
So here's a statement which I feel like is so good. Like it's so good. Save it. Write it down. Behind all healthy relationships were a ton of triggered moments and lots of uncomfortable conversations. Like that really describes it to a T. Perfect. It's like there are tons of times that Carlos triggers me. There are a ton of times that I trigger him. And there's a ton of times where we have to have conversations that feel so fucking uncomfortable, but we do it, right? Like we do it because we know we have to, because otherwise, that's when I feel like people are just, I was listening to, I don't know if any of you guys listen to it, but I was listening to the Chelsea Handler podcast. I forget what it's called, but it's like an advice podcast. And so people call in and stuff. And I feel like because she's a single woman and she's like she's found fulfillment in being alone, I feel like her answer is always fucking leave. Yeah. Like, I feel like that's a lot of people's response to stuff is like, oh, they're not satisfying your needs anymore, then bounce, like go find someone who will. And it's like, bro, sip. Like, it's like that's not a healthy relationship if you haven't tried. If you haven't tried to communicate and you haven't tried to do things, if you haven't tried to go to therapy, if you really love somebody, you're gonna fucking try. You gotta try because no matter what, inevitably you're gonna be in the same position with somebody else later on.
Yeah, nothing changes.
If you guys already, okay, one disclaimer though is like you do have to have a good connection with somebody. Like you can't force that.
Yeah.
You have to have like a certain chemistry and a certain like connection with somebody, because I don't think that really happens over time as much as I think you can love somebody over time, but that doesn't mean you're ever gonna feel like super fulfilled in your relationship with that person.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you can be like, oh, I love this person because they're a good person and like whatever, but that doesn't mean like, oh, there's always something maybe kind of missing.
Yeah.
I don't mean that. I mean like, this is my person.
Yeah, like
this is my person, but we're going through a hard moment, or I'm not feeling great about something. That's what I'm talking about, is like, I think a lot of times people would rather end something than just have uncomfortable conversations.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like that's I feel like that's when you know you love someone. It's just like when you're ready to take that on, because that's the most hardest,
it's hard,
difficult water trail to walk on. Not water, unless you're me.
Okay, so one more thing, and then I think we'll wrap up for today.
Yeah.
It will be a short one.
Sorry, guys.
So just along these lines, here's some tips. When your partner isn't meeting your needs, ask yourself these questions. 1, have I told them specifically what I need? Because so many times we think that they should know, and we actually really haven't been specific. Being specific creates clarity and gets us on the same page. So for example, something that's not specific is saying, can we spend more time together? I think a lot of people think that's specific. It's not specific, because more time to your partner could mean, an hour out of the week.
Yeah.
And to you, it means 6 hours more out of the week or something like that. So a specific way could be, can we pick one night a week where we're fully present and not distracted with our phones? That is specific. Not specific, I need you to show me you care while you're away. A specific way of asking would be, can you text me or call me before you go to bed so we can catch up about our day? That would help me feel close to you.
Yeah.
Not specific, I need you to listen to me. Specific, can we have a conversation where you aren't distracted so I can get all my feelings and thoughts out? 2, have I told them what I want or what I don't want? Many of us get in the habit of voicing issues we have with our partner or things we don't want. To get our needs met, we have to clearly state what we do want. Instead of, you're always so distracted on your phone, you can try, can we pick an hour time period where we could spend it without our phones?
Yeah.
Like, again, it's just about being more specific and more clear. So yeah, I feel like that's just like a good tip of how to be more specific with expressing your needs.
And in any relationship, I feel like any relationship that you're going into, whether you're dating someone, whether you're in a long-term relationship, or if you're not sure about the person, I feel like that's a really good way to go about relationships in general.
Oh my God, and when I saw this, I realized like there are so many times where I'm not specific with you.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think maybe vice versa.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this is such a good tip. Because I literally thought back to like just a conversation we had like the other week, and I was like, oh, I definitely wasn't specific. I think you got it, like when we talked, but I realized that I don't think I was specific in saying like, oh, I would like for you to tell me the things you love about me, or like I wasn't really specific. I think you got it. Like, But that's a good example of just saying like what I don't want isn't really specific.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So there you guys have it. That's a really nice tips that we've given you guys.
That's a really nice tip.
That's a really nice tip. Those are really nice tips we give you guys. We've been sourcing these things for you guys. We hope we can help you out in your relationships. As we mentioned earlier on, just be more specific in the questions if you can. Fill up the bubbles. Don't worry about it, because it'd be nice to get more specific to really like help. I don't know. Whatever we do is give you advice that you could actually use. So we won't be giving broad responses to like really broad questions. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. It's a little short, but what can we do? Don't fake an orgasm.
Yeah, don't do that.
See you guys.
You deserve more in life.
You do. Bye-bye, guys.